and the likes of Kelly, Natalya feels insulted because of the farting gimmick, and it's a bit of a reprieve from what we have been seeing and hearing about when it comes to the WWE Divas division. I mean, I remember reading an article about how Natalya was offended by the farting angle. She wrestled against Eve Torres on Edition of SmackDown a couple of weeks ago, but 2.5 weeks ago, we saw that one, Eve Torres making quick work of a phenomenal talent. And Jim the Animal Neidhart believes that Natalya is one of the best Divas talents they have, and here she is jobbing out to Eve Torres, putting Eve Torres over, putting Eve on a pedestal. I'm not saying she isn't deserving of being on, but it's taking away from what they could be doing with talents like Natalya, who are fantastic inside of the ring. Their ring generalism, their craft, all adding up. So with Eve Torres now coming in, filling in for divas like Beth Phoenix, who aren't there on a consistent basis, running with this heel gimmick, we're probably going to be seeing some tag team work with the likes of Eve and Beth Phoenix, a very strong tag team over the next couple of weeks. We're going to see Eve work with more divas she's never worked with before. Definitely the pressure is on for Eve Torres. But if you actually read in this corner with Jonathan Clarke, I talk about what direction I see this thing heading in, not only for Eve, but for divas like the Bella Twins, Kelly, Natalya, Beth Phoenix, what kind of opportunities they're presented with. The Divas division is something we always talk about here on the radio show and find time to distribute to it, because I believe the Divas division isn't given enough time on radio shows or talked about enough in written columns. Not only in WWE, but the TNA Knockouts division is left out in the dark. And Lacey Von Erich actually told me in an interview a couple of years ago I did with her, she said that she believed that women should be given more time inside of the ring. 5 minutes isn't giving them enough time to show what they're really all about. And she believed that if they were being given more time than just 5 minutes a week on Raw, on Impact, different wrestling programs, the Divas division would mean more. And because of the limited amount of time they're given, both in WWE and TNA, the fans really aren't paying much attention to the Divas division. I mean, let's be honest. For the last 3.5 years, let's say for the better part ever since Trish Stratus left the business in 2006, you use the Divas matches to go and get something to eat or use the washroom. You use it as your piss break. So, you're looking for something interesting to happen in the Divas division. And I think that people like John Cena, Zack Ryder, Kelly, and Eve have restored that for you. You've always dreamed of the day when people like Eve Torres and Kelly would turn coat, would turn heel, and they've finally done it. So that's a bit of a reprieve from what we are used to seeing in the Divas division. The same 5 or 6 heels going up against the same 5 or 6 baby faces. For a while there, last year, we were seeing 5-on-5, 6-on-6, 7-on-7, 8-on-8, what have you. Divas tag team matches, your everyday heels going up against your everyday baby faces. But now, when we have 5-on-5, 6-on-6, 7-on-7, 8-on-8, we can see different divas being heel, different divas being babyface, and kind of change it up. And it's great heading down the road to WrestleMania, because now we can see Eve Torres potentially challenge for the Divas Championship as a heel, which is something we have never seen before. Over the last 6 months, we've seen Eve Torres stand out in the corner of Kelly and look like a ditz, cheering on Kelly, playing cheerleader. And now the roles have reversed. Not only is Kelly going to have the chance to compete, but Eve Torres is going to have the chance to compete more too. So we're going to potentially see Eve and Kelly feud for the Divas Championship, something I talked about on The Score here in Canada when I wrote them an email, and they believed we were going to see the Kelly versus Eve feud. And I wanted it to be for the Divas Championship, and that could potentially still happen. But right now it just seems to be a feud to promote different things like the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. Head to nick.com to vote for Kelly, and something that Eve Torres will probably be working on, maybe a magazine photo shoot, a cover, different things. It just seems like that feud's being used as a promotional form, and because a lot of divas are absent now and not on the active roster currently right now. Where has Beth Phoenix been? Ever since I raised awareness of Beth Phoenix not being on Raw as much, she appears a couple of times in about 5-minute long matches. At least she gets her title defenses in regularly. But I think that she needs to be on there more to help Eve Torres, because she's the champion. And even if they do some tag team work together, at least that will push Eve Torres for a potential Divas Championship match. Something I alluded to that is bound to happen within the next 3 or 4 months. If not shortly after WrestleMania, give it 3 or 4 months after WrestleMania, we'll see Eve Torres challenging for the Divas Championship. If Kelly picks the belt up again, maybe we'll see the feud over the Divas title then. We're bound to see something at WrestleMania, but I really think this is great for Eve Torres especially, but for the Divas division as a whole, because now we can see the Bella Twins turn babyface again, maybe. Remain heel, work with Eve Torres as part of a 5-on-5, 6-on-6 Divas match. A lot of stuff can happen because of this, and I'm really looking forward to finding out what's going to be happening. And I'm really interested in finding out what you fans have to say about Eve Torres' change of heart, this new attitude. And you can tell us by joining the conversation on our Facebook page, following us on Twitter, or subscribing to our YouTube channel. So I really think that this is great, and I know that I'm not the only one talking about this, because finally the Divas division is interesting again. And how long have we waited for the Divas division to be interesting again? I mean, we've been waiting for the Divas division to be interesting ever since 2006, when Trish Stratus departed ways with the business. She's got her movie Bounty Hunters out now. Maybe she'll come in and do something promotional wise with WWE to promote the Bounty Hunter. That's a great film. Trish Stratus, of course, is bound to have some theatrical releases, if not with WWE, with some successful film franchise down the road, because Bounty Hunters available now on Blu-ray and DVD. The promos for this thing look outstanding. Head to our Twitter page to check out the promos, and head to our Twitter page to check out some Eve Torres videos, and our Image Center has some Eve Torres photos. Ever since making the change from a babyface to a heel, this metamorphosis Eve has undergone is definitely going to benefit her, and we have seen many divas have a change of heart over the years. Trish Stratus was one of the most successful divas in the business, changing from a babyface to a heel for the first time in 2004 when she turned on Chris Jericho, who she was involved in a love triangle with Christian with at WrestleMania 20. And ever since WrestleMania 20, when Trish Stratus turned heel for the first time in her career, for the first time in about 3 years, she was able to become the Divas Champion, the Women's Champion it was referred to back then as, and had a tremendous amount of success as a heel. So she had a tremendous amount of success both as a babyface and a heel. And very few divas have been able to do that. Trish Stratus was one of the fortunate few who had success both as a babyface and a heel, and I think Eve Torres is going to fall in that same category. But very few divas are able to do this. So that's an accomplishment to look fantastic on your resume if you have success, not only as a babyface, but as a heel, because it's very hard to do, especially in a business like professional wrestling, because there are fans who will perceive your babyface character to be predominant over your heel character, and there are fans who will prefer your heel character over your babyface character. So you have to sell both avenues your career will go down. And sometimes there are wrestlers who are described as neutral performers, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was loved no matter if he was a babyface or a heel. There were other wrestlers who fell in that same category, but very few are able to sell both directions of their character. And your character can be perceived anyway in the WWE on any given night. Like at WrestleMania this year, John Cena is vowed to be booed out of the building at WrestleMania 28. He's not going to be favored at all in this match, coming from the hometown of The Rock in Miami, Florida. The Big Rock concert happening over the next couple of days, and we're going to be covering that for you on our official website. Stay tuned to our website's RSS feed for additional details on that. We've been tweeting stuff on our Twitter page and sending out conversational topics on our Facebook. Just over an hour ago, actually, we tweeted an article about SmackDown. A lot of great stuff happening in the WWE and the professional wrestling world in general. A lot of fantastic videos being tweeted on our Twitter page and being talked about on our Facebook. Over an hour ago, we've been sending out a couple of conversational topics on our Facebook, and we're going to be sending out conversational topics all throughout the day, especially on days of Raw and SmackDown. We usually send out a lot of tweets and conversational topics on our Facebook page. And I know that Eve Torres and Kelly Kelly are two divas who are being talked about a lot. It does great for Kelly Kelly too, because she receives a tremendous amount of publicity from everything going on with Eve Torres. Who do you favor in this feud? Who do you think is going to get over? The fans will automatically jump to conclusions sometimes when polls arise and questions are derived from different angles happening in the WWE. And a lot of you will probably say Eve Torres when I throw this poll out on our airwaves. Who do you think will benefit from this feud more, Eve Torres or Kelly Kelly? Who do you think will get the better of the other diva? Will it indeed be Kelly Kelly who comes out on top around WrestleMania time to promote the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards? It would look good for her character to come out on top, because she needs it with the nomination for the award. The first time ever Kelly Kelly's been nominated for a Kids' Choice Award, which I find really weird because over the last couple of years, Kelly's really been sticking it to Disney and Nickelodeon by using her YouTube channel to post inappropriate material about companies like Nickelodeon and especially Disney. So why is she up for a Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award? Head to nick.com for additional details and the official website of Kelly on how you can vote for her in this category. Find it very unorthodox and bizarre, are some of the words I can associate with this, as to why Kelly is nominated. Another way for Kelly to achieve success outside of the wrestling business and go down the same avenue as Stacy Keibler and Trish Stratus, who have left the business for Hollywood. I can't say Kelly would be just as successful as Trish or Stacy and marry somebody like George Clooney, but I don't really know. I can't really see Kelly having success out of the business and doing stuff with kids. I don't even know why she's nominated for this Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award. It would look good for Kelly if she came out on top in this feud with Eve Torres, left Eve Torres upset. But what's going on between Eve Torres and Zack Ryder? Now Zack Ryder now seems to be in awe after receiving an apologetic kiss from Eve Torres there a couple of weeks ago on Raw. This storyline, this angle is getting stranger by the week. It's almost like WWE Creative doesn't know what they're doing, and we need Edge to go on a crusade of taking out everything stupid again and taking out WWE Creative. It seems like they don't know what they're doing from one minute to the next with this whole John Cena, Eve, Kelly, Zack Ryder angle, which is going in all types of different directions. It's so hard to figure out what they're doing with this, but then again, that's what they do in the wrestling business. They make you think one thing, and then the week after you're thinking something else, and then all your opinions conflict. You and your friends get into arguments over who's going to win. You think this guy's going to win. You think this diva is going to be far more superior than the other, and nobody knows